What's going on, guys? Tim's from Tim's Garage, and I'm back. It's been a while, but it's good to be back. But I come with some solemn news. I was about to go take my bike for a ride the other day, and I was taking a look as I was rolling it out, and I was noticing, boy, I got a real good flat spot going on here in the middle of this tire. This was the tire that was on the bike when I bought it from the previous owner about 6,000 miles ago. And, you know, it looks like it's got a little life left on it. But then I started rolling it back. And as you can see, the belt started coming through. The tire started to shred ever so slightly. And I always do a tire check before I always go out on a ride. So this was not here on the last ride that I took about a week ago. So I wasn't able to go on the ride that I wanted to go on the other day. And I've got a new tire on its way. I'm gonna go pick it up at Cycle Gear. And what's really cool right now is they're actually doing a thing where if you order the tire to them, they'll mount it for free. So I just gotta get the old tire off here, the one with this nasty flat spot and belts starting to show through. I mean, look at that, you can see the metal. Don't ever ride on that, guys, that's just dangerous. If you see that on your bike, just pull over, don't use it, get this fixed, get a new tire right away. So anyway, I need to pull the wheel off, and then I'm gonna take it in my car over to Cycle Gear, get it remounted. And one great thing when you get the wheel off is you can do some checks on the brakes, you can do some checks on the actual sprocket on the back, make sure that looks good. I'm just at about 10,000 miles on my Thruxton R. So stuff should be in pretty good shape, but I'm getting to that point of where it's on its leg for the first maintenance. So I guess this tire will count as part of it. And in case you're curious what I have here, this is a Pirelli Angel GT1 tire, and I'm just actually gonna replace it with the exact same one because I want it to match my front, and I like the way it looks, and it's really sticky. It's just a great tire for out here on these Texas roads. So let's get the tire taken off and get it replaced. All right, so the wheel is off and ready to be transported. Super, super easy, you guys, to take that off. I'm not gonna do a whole how-to on that, but pretty simple. Just loosen the chain bolts, tap the axle through, and then the tire basically, the wheel just basically falls right out. So gonna take this in now over to Cycle Gear, get the new tire mounted, clean it up, and then put it back on and see how it looks. Okay, I've got my new tire back from Cycle Gear mounted and ready to go, and it's amazing what a new tire looks like compared to an old one. You forget how deep these treads are supposed to be and how round the top of the tire is actually supposed to look like. I've got it back now, gonna clean it all up, get it ready to go. One thing that I hate when they're mounting a tire, though, is when they put these new weights on, and these are pretty subtle, you know, they stick up a little bit, but I hate this. I hate having weights on here like this, but you know, you got to balance it. But what stinks the most is having this little bit of sticky left from the old weight. Do they bother cleaning that off? No, sir, they do not. So I'm gonna need to clean that off, and then I'm gonna clean my whole wheel. I'm gonna torque down all the bolts, make sure they're all tight, everything's looking good. I'm gonna lube back up the bearings and then get it all put back together. But yeah, gotta scrape this guy off with some Goo Gone. So let's get this thing cleaned up and then mount it up. So the wheel is now all scrubbed and clean and looking shiny. I was even able to get in there and get the spokes a little bit shined up, buffed up. Grease has been cleaned off of every place it needs to be cleaned off of, brake dust, you name it, all good to go. So now the next step is to put her back together. Now, one thing I did do, since I'm just about at my 10,000 miles, I went ahead and replaced my brake pads, which you can see there. It's something that's good to do. Got the wheel off, might as well also do some maintenance. So I've got my new brake pads in place. That's all set, ready to go. Now we just got to put the tire back in. And really simple, in case you guys haven't done it before, roll it in, get the chain wrapped around, lift it up a little bit, and then get the axle rod slipped through, and then tighten it all back down. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Well, okay guys, there we go. Beautiful new tire installed, ready to ride. Next thing I'm gonna do is actually give the bike a nice cleaning and then re-lube the chain and do all that stuff. But it's all set up and tightened up and ready to put a few miles on it to get it grippy. One thing, just so you guys know, the nut here is 110 Newton meters. Just in case you guys don't have the service manual, the axle nut, 110. And I've got my measurement at just about 5 dots on each side, so it's nice and even, and the chain has just the right amount of slack. It's got about that inch up and down in the middle spot there. So we should be good to go. Let's take it out for a ride.